Welcome back everyone to the Two-Headed Wolf Gaming channel last Epoch and the final episode from our Sentinel to Forge Guard run where I've been focusing on throwing attacks. And in between the episodes, as I was farming around for experience and gear, I decided to focus only on one throwing skill. And in this case it's the javelin. And then I've been trying to look around and figure out what skills would complement this build idea. Rebuke was an easy choice. I really feel like this is very useful if you are focusing on throwing attacks, because whenever I got surrounded or I ran out of mana, I put up a shield, it's reducing a lot of the damage received, and I decided to go to the left of the skill tree. Because over here I'm getting 100% health regeneration and 25% mana regeneration, which I want to increase, so this is helping a lot. But then I went even further, getting 45% extra armor, I am getting some elemental damage reduction, I'm also getting speed, so after the shield is done I'm getting haste, which increases the movement speed, and I'm also getting 25% attack speed. So the way this works, basically you put up the shield, at the end of which it explodes, killing a lot of the squishier mobs, giving you a little opportunity to run away from them and for you to start throwing attacks once again, especially because your mana has been regenerating. So this has been very useful. Now there are many choices. I'm guessing that you can go in bigger explosions and things like that, which would clear even more of the mobs and thus making you survive in that way, but it really depends in which direction you want to go on. And you've already seen that I threw in Force Strike. Because I was looking around at all of these abilities, there's not really anything from the early Mastery or the early Sentinel that is really that useful. I don't really want to get up close and personal that often to enemies. For Shield Bash, it requires a shield unless you specialize in it and you decide to throw in that modifier which says it doesn't require a shield anymore. But either way, getting up close and personal to the enemies can be very dangerous. And I'm just gonna show you how I've been running around with this build. Warpath, definitely not the best ability either, because you become vulnerable in these moments, especially to ranged attacks. That is pretty bad. But as I was looking around and trying to figure things out, I took another look at this ability called Forge Strike. And at first it didn't seem, I felt like it was an easy, one of those attacks that would replace maybe your normal attacks. But that is not the case at all. It's more like what was yesterday, Erasing Strike that we had from the Void Knight, because it does 2000 damage. So I decided to throw this in because it's a very quick attack. So I got up close and personal to the enemies, I dropped the hammer, sometimes it even spawns in these weapons, which are actually really good. I mean, they're doing a lot of damage, look at this. Those weapons can easily kill enemies. If you have the maximum of weapons, which I think it's 5, it can do a lot of damage, especially on bosses. It doesn't require you to kill enemies, I believe, in order to spawn those. No, there's a 25% chance to summon these weapons whenever you are hitting the enemy. So overall, this has been very useful. And I do recommend it. So you go, you do that big attack, you kill some mobs, and then you start throwing hits. Or the other tactic is for you to start throwing hits, and if you have enemies which actually get up close to you, they're already damaged, so getting that Force Strike pretty much kills them. So that's what I've decided to specialize in. I felt like this is a really good choice, and I don't know why I didn't pay attention to it quicker, because it's definitely useful. So, with this in mind, let's focus on our build because I want to change a few things. And we'll start as per usual with gear. There's not a whole lot here that would be super impressive. There is one thing that I want to point out, and it's, for example, if you have a piece of equipment like this ring, which says that it offers you block chance and block effectiveness, it actually applies. You do not need a shield in order to provide yourself with block effectiveness, which was something that I thought in the previous episodes, that you really need a shield in order to have this happen. But that is not the case. So that has been pretty cool. You can see that even a 2% block chance here is not the biggest, but the block effectiveness, even at 138, says that it reduces 26% of the damage from most mobs. Not all the mobs, but most mobs. So that is good. Block chance, however, 2%, not that impressive. If we're going to gear here, I have a slightly better mace. And if we're taking a quick look around, I decided to throw in here, let's see. I'm thinking that shred armor might be the way to go. It's either that or chance to slow on hit. This is also something that I felt could be very useful for us, you know, to reduce the speed of enemies as they get closer. But I think for now I'm going to go with shred armor. Then we are going to go with more physical damage. That's about it. I don't want to upgrade any of the other modifiers there. For the helmet, I have this helmet which is slightly better because it increases physical damage and also it gives me some physical resistance, and that is pretty good. We're losing on lightning resistance and I do not want that. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna go with lightning resistances and we're gonna throw in this. We're upgrading armor, lightning resistance, and so on. Like we're gonna try to upgrade it as much as possible here. Okay, can't upgrade it anymore, but there it is. Now we have a pretty good helmet to run with. We have a few of these modifiers, of these idols, but they're nothing too special. Some health on kill I decided to go with. Ward on potion use, 15% of potion health converted to ward. Nothing we specialize in truly, but either way, it's going to fill up the slots and thus make us a tiny bit more strong. Then I found these gloves, these unique Crusader gloves, Hand of Judgments. Seems like a pretty cool idea to try with. The Judgment ability is this one over here, where you are doing melee damage, you can see there. And it's pretty cool, it seems pretty cool. But I don't know, maybe it's something we'll try in the future. These gloves, what they do is that they give you increased area and damage if you are going unarmed. So basically unequip your weapon and do your best with this one. While we are unarmed, getting -9 judgment mana cost for hits. So that is pretty cool. This is something that I will want to try out in the future. So once again, we'll stash it and we'll return to it again. I also want to respec, I think this is something I said last time, I want to respec out of lightning. Because there's not a huge way to scale lightning damage with this build. I think it works better with Crusader. That class has more skills which increase lightning damage, but the Forged Knight or Forged Guard does not. So I'm going to get a point over here so that I could respec out of this one. Now this choice reduces our level by 1, but that is totally fine. Either way, at this point we are going to go this way. Javelin gains physical and lightning penetration for each second you have been standing still up to maximum duration, and this one lasts for 2.5 seconds. I decided to throw this in because we are sitting still whenever we are casting Rebuke, and then we have this buff lasting for 2.5 seconds, so it's enough for us to move away from the enemies and start doing some damage. And I'm also thinking to try out these strategic patience where we're doing 50% more damage with the javelin, but we are getting reduced attack speed. I don't know how this will work, but it's 50% extra damage and I want that. Then we're gonna go down here at the bottom where javelin hits deal more damage up to maximum for each enemy pierced. And this is something we decided not to take in the past because we went this way and Divine Fury said that javelins no longer pierce, so that was a problem there. But I don't have any more points at the moment, so we're going to need to wait for that. And also, let's upgrade our Forge Strike over here. If we take a quick look around, we can see that we could go up north. Light Forge Strike has increased cooldown recovery speed and attack speed. And attack speed bonus also applies to forged weapons, which can be pretty good. We can look at Ironbound, improved Forge Strike, base critical chance, and critical strikes deal more damage. Sounds pretty good. Heavy Strike, Forge Strike, and forged weapons deal more damage and have increased chance to stun enemies. I do like this a lot, so definitely invest at least 1 point there. Stunning enemies using the support weapons, right? The minions that we have with us, those weapons. Sounds pretty good to me. Forged by fire, forged weapons deal additional melee fire damage. And I like this as well. We could go also with shrapnel, where forged weapons have much shorter duration but deal more damage and explode when they expire, dealing fire and physical damage to nearby enemies. And I do like that. However, the reduced duration by 25%, I feel like they can do a lot more damage if they live for longer. That is just what I'm thinking at the moment. Let's see. So I'm going to go in this way. Force strike hits deal more damage against rare and boss enemies. We do want that. Can be pretty useful. We need to invest 2 points here to increase our stun chance. I do like that. So we're going with Goliath Strike. Bellows. Element inflicted by Force Strike deal increased damage over time, equal to your stun chance. This could work. However, we're not doing a whole lot of elements at this moment, so that is not necessarily a good idea. Force Strike and Forged Weapons hits deal damage in a larger area, and I do like that. Converts Anvil Blow, converts Forged Strike into an anvil that falls from the sky instead. Force Strike has an increased stun chance to stun enemies, stuns it inflicts last longer, and it deals additional physical damage. Could be a good idea. I mean, at the end of the day, why not? I guess stunning the enemies wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, so we can do a bit of that. Forged Strike can now be cast at your target, but I don't really want that. I like the idea that it's very close to us. You can see that at this point, with all the upgrades we've thrown in, we're doing 4,000 damage, which is absolutely crazy. Should we go to the left? Look at this. So this one is providing us with some bleed chance as well. I think we could go up north. It could increase mana cost and have no cooldown. I don't want that. I want to keep our mana here for our javelin. Ward granted on forged weapons, 25 per point. Okay, you are granted ward when Force Strike summons a forged weapon. I do like that. Forged weapons no longer move or attack, but generate ward when you are near them. You know what? I want to get a bit of warding here, just to increase our defense. At the end of the day, we're focusing on javelin, not the Forged Strike itself. However, this is very helpful. So we're gonna run around with this, and we're gonna try them out. One other thing I wanted to do is go at one of these rings and decide to, let's see, if I go for throwing, we can get a prefix here to reduce, once again, our mana cost while increasing our damage. And let's try it out. Let's see what's going on here. So now we're doing, you can see that we're doing the 25% reduced speed. We have the 25% reduced attack speed. However, we're doing around 700 damage. We're gonna test it on this boss. So far so good. Doing a lot of damage. You can see now we're not really worried on mana because our rate of fire is very low. To be honest, I'm not sure I like the reduced speed there on the javelin. It's definitely a more powerful attack, but I feel like if we have the full speed, we can do more damage. And I feel like this might be very problematic because we don't have multiple projectiles right now. And I feel like the other problem that we have here is that when we're getting mobbed, without the multiple projectiles and the reduced speed, it's going to be very difficult. The boss was easily killed. I really don't have anything to say about it because there's nothing that I could say is wrong here. But I don't like the reduced speed. We're gonna go here again. Fortunately, we're gonna respec out of one more point, which means that we have to level up again. However, we're getting some accelerated XP. And one of the things, there was something around here which gave us multiple projectiles, right? You get increased mana cost, but You now throw javelins into the air, causing 3 javelins to rain down on location. I don't really like that. I don't really want that kind of modifier. Maybe we're going in this way to get javelin now leaves behind a holy thread that deals fire and lightning damage to enemies. That seems a bit more impressive. Yeah, there is a downside to definitely to not having multiple projectiles. But at the same time, I'm doing a lot more damage than I did with lightning. There are probably items within the game as well that would increase the projectiles that you have for throwing attacks.
It is a wonder I didn't drown in my armor.
Rebuke has leveled up again. And at this point, I just want to invest a bit more into mana regeneration. With the reduced cost that we've thrown on the rings, you can see we have 3 mana cost, so it's not as problematic anymore, I would say. Definitely like the attack speed a bit more. I might not be doing 500 damage or anything like that, but it's still very useful, I see. So where do I go next? Should I get an ignite? It's a 25% chance to ignite. It's not really that bad. Yeah, now we have an average of 800 from 600 damage. An easily applicable effect, which I feel it works. It helps us in killing enemies, especially because we are attacking from a distance. And you've seen there, as he was preparing to do his big AoE attack there, very dangerous for us. We just drop the anvil on him and that works really good. Somehow I feel like this build is going in the right direction, but it does need a lot more levels in order to make it super functional. What I am thinking, and we might replace our gloves here because it seems like these are a whole lot better. Getting some necrotic resistance, 5 health, 11 fire resistance, increased critical strike chance, some cast speed. We're losing 11 armor and 7 health, but there's nothing there that it's really that impressive. Those gloves weren't impressive. What I am thinking at the moment is that probably the best tactic going forward is to invest in Forge Guard here, because you could get Manifest Armor. This one also gives you a bunch of minions which protect you. Maybe Ring of Shields later on. I don't know about Smelter's Wrath at the end of the day, but this one definitely would help with protecting you, getting those extra minions. Now let's spend our passive skill points from the Forge Guard as we're moving forward. I think that the way I want to do this, let's see, should we increase throwing damage by percentage? Yes. I think I want this one, because it also increases the stun chance. Now we have unlocked a new set of skills. Guardian increases health and increases stun chance. Shield Breaker, your throwing attacks cost more mana but shred physical and fire resistance. And we've already threw in some fire resistance and all that, so we're gonna do this. Oh, we've thrown in some fire damage, the ignite chance. Still early in the morning. Definitely need a lot more coffee. You have additional armor for each hit you have blocked recently. A 2% chance to block means that this is not going to be good for us, right? I don't want to go further than this. We're gonna stay with only one stack. I don't want to increase mana by a huge amount. We're gonna keep investing into throwing damage and stun chance. Now we have Manifest Armor and we are going to try that. We're gonna throw it in. We have 4 more points and unlocked a few more skills here. Getting 30 armor per point, sounds good. Damage taken by attackers when hit, 30 per point, so it's like horns. That sounds good. Melee damage with two-handed weapons we don't care for. While you have a shield equipped, your blocks are more effective and you deal additional physical damage with throwing attacks. Definitely something to work with when you're using the shield throw. And then we have Smelter's Might. You and your minions have a chance to inflict bleeding and ignite on hit. The bonus is doubled for you if you are using a two-handed melee weapon. That would be great. But we're gonna throw in at least a 7% chance to bleed and ignite. We want that. The other thing that I want, I guess I want to get a bit of armor and a bit of reflect. But then once again, I'm going to invest into the throwing damage. And we're 1 point away from unlocking the next level of skills. Let's also throw in Manifest Armor. So manifests an animated set of heavy armor which attacks slowly. Stats granted by your body armor, helmet, gloves, and boots also apply to Manifest Armor. Okay, this has a cooldown of 10 seconds. It doesn't seem like it has a limited amount of time as a summon, but we shall try it out and we shall see it in action. This is definitely a better choice than anything we've had so far as skills go. Can I summon more of them? No, we have only one. But it's moving around, it's attracting attention, which means that we can sit back, relax, throw our javelins at the enemy. As you can see, with the +6 cost there, I am now losing mana once more. Which means that one of the things that I could do is go even further, like upgrade these. But it seems like that is not really going the way I thought it was. Upgrading this gives us more throwing damage, but it does not reduce the mana cost. What if I bring it to level 3? No. Can I get... I could probably get on the amulet some mana reduction as well. However, this is quite expensive. Level up once again. Let's put up a shield here. Cool, nothing cool. Okay, level up. Let's see, quickly go into the passive skill tree. And we're gonna keep investing, we're gonna keep investing in throwing damage at this moment. I'm doing 800 by average. We're doing bleeds, we're shredding armor, we're igniting. There's a lot we're doing here. Overall, I'm quite happy with this build. It feels really good to play. There's definitely a lot of time which you need to invest into this. You have to look for good equipment or craft good equipment as well. I feel like the end game would be a lot more interesting in a way. But I've been having a lot of fun just trying to figure out how to do this. What is the best way forward? And there's definitely good enough choices all around. Does the armor regenerate health? I am curious about that. It doesn't seem like it regenerates health. If I apply a potion, it does not get the healing from it. Okay. Okay, good to know. I was wondering whether that would be the case.
Stand down or die.
Level up on the javelin. We're gonna get spear to the thigh. Javelin deal more damage over time. I don't want to unlock this side of the tree, so we're gonna go with it. Actually, almost seems like there is some regeneration on the armor. I think it's very slow. Not crazy, right? Yeah, it does regenerate health. However, it's very slowly. Where do I go for? Is it up north? I think it's up north, yes. Huh. That is actually cool. I like minions to regenerate health, especially as you are in between combat. Having a slow health healing ability is better than nothing. It doesn't force you to constantly work on summoning. Nice. And one of the things which I really loved after playing two melee characters is the fact that I can constantly attack from a distance and I don't have to worry about getting poisoned that much. Most of these enemies haven't been able to get close to me enough to poison me. Nice. Let's see, what are we going to upgrade over here? A bit more stun wouldn't be bad. Giving some extra fire damage could also be really good. Full Strike causes detonating rounds, sending out cracks which erupt after 1.5 seconds, dealing melee fire damage and igniting enemies. Why not? Let's get into it. I feel that probably the best choice in this situation, and given the fact that we're already at a huge amount of damage, I think the best choice is actually to increase the chance to summon the swords actually, because they're a bit more helpful. This is enough of a panic button to kill most of the enemies. And since we are at the end of the episode, let me think of how I could draw a conclusion on what we're doing now. So the way you play this is that you damage enemies at a distance, and even the tougher ones will lose a lot of health by the time they get to you. At which point you can drop either a hammer or one of these anvils on them and pretty much kill them. At the same time, we are also summoning the armor, which is the latest piece in our build, and I feel like it's very useful. It's attracting a lot of attention, giving us enough opportunity to throw even more spears at the enemy, and thus killing them, making it less dangerous for us. While also sometimes summoning these swords. Right, whenever we are in close melee combat and we're dropping these anvils, we can also get the help of these swords. They're doing good damage overall. And I feel like that works. I feel like it's an easy idea for the future. We could specialize in this armor, definitely make it tougher. And let's just take a look around. So for now, I'm going to throw another point here so that we can get towards Holy Trail. As far as the passive skill point, crushing blows, you have increased mana regen, and your melee and throwing attacks deal increased damage based on their mana cost. That is actually really good. 0.5 per point per mana cost. Okay, so there is... At least you can make a really good plan here that even though you have a huge mana cost, you're gonna do a lot of damage and you're getting a lot of mana regeneration. I like that. Normally you are in anvil stance where you take less damage but deal less damage. If you are using a throwing attack, you enter hammer stance for 4 seconds. If hammer stance, you deal more damage but take more damage as well. Interesting as an idea, but I wouldn't want to leave myself in a bad situation, to be honest. Iron Attunement, giving more armor to ourselves and our minions, plus the mana regeneration, right? 2 points per attunement. Plus, it improves certain skills like Manifest Armor and Ring of Shields. Okay, so improving this one as well. Nice. I think I'm going to go with this mana regeneration and extra damage per mana cost. And if I was to look at the Manifest Armor, actually, let's clear these mobs and take one final look at Manifest Armor here. Manifest Armor gains a sword which scales with your equipped weapon stats. That is actually good. We are dual wielding, so I would definitely go in this direction. That is actually a really cool skill to have. You're gonna lose a lot on health and armor because you have to invest 3 points here. So that would be what? 24? Yeah, 24 reduced health and armor, but you get 75% extra damage plus the two-handed sword, or the sword which has the power of our 2 equipped weapons. That is actually really good. Manifest Armor gains a shield which scales with the stats of your equipped shield. You can give it armor, you can give it regeneration, but it's equipped shield and we don't have a shield, so that's not gonna work. Manifest Armor cannot be stunned. Chance to taunt enemies. Manifest Armor gains melee physical damage equal to a proportion of the armor on your body. There's so much cool stuff here. Okay, well, that is going to have to be it for this run. I really hope I gave you an idea here of what to do. I'm hoping that you're trying this out. Really, it's really nice to play with, and because you can create this armor, you can throw in these modifiers to reduce mana cost and everything else very easily. You don't need to go to a crafting bench, you don't need to worry too much about things. It's really easy to put this build together. To think that I haven't really been using Rebuke lately, it's really impressive as an idea. Maybe I could even despecialize out of Rebuke and throw in the Manifest Armor until later on. That would definitely be something to think about. Either way, this is going to have to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, do consider leaving a like, as it does help me, help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel to see more. We're gonna bring other games as well. And until next time, I wish you all to have a wonderful day.